Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to do a quick tutorial on straining henna paste. And you may be wondering, what is the purpose of straining henna paste? Naturally, henna comes from a plant, and in your henna powder you may have leaves and sticks that may be left in the powder from the manufacturing and processing process. And so sometimes when we mix paste, we find that we have little bits of plant material in our henna, or actually when we've already put the henna in our applicator cones or bottles, we find that our henna keeps getting stuck because there are pieces of plant material actually in the paste still. So going through the straining process does help us to remove those bits and pieces so that we can apply henna patterns more easily with our applicators. So to get started, what we have here is we have some freshly mixed henna paste. It does appear very, very smooth. The henna that I use is double and triple sifted, so it's very rare. But even though there probably isn't any plant material in here, I am going to go through the process anyway for demonstration purposes. We have a nylon stocking. This is a knee-high stocking. And you'll want to get the ones that don't have reinforced toes, and those are the ones that usually have the dark tip on the toe there. This one doesn't have the dark tip on the toe, and this is exactly the kind that you want to get, and these actually end up being the ones that are cheaper anyway. The ones with the reinforced toe with the dark weave pattern on the toe keep them from running or ripping holes, but because we're not going to use these in the traditional way that they're meant to be used, we don't need that, and it actually helps us in the process anyway. You'll want to, of course, use hosiery that is not used, not something that has been on somebody's foot. Even if it has been washed, you want to use something that's new and that you plan to use for henna only. And then, of course, we're going to need a carrot or a piping bag. It's kind of a triangular shaped bag, and it just kind of opens up like so, and then it's sealed at the tip, so it is an open bag there. You'll need one of these, and then you'll need a cup or a glass. It doesn't have to be glass, and it doesn't have to be clear. I just have mine as a clear glass for demonstration purposes, but you could use plastic, metal, it doesn't really matter. We just need it to hold our supplies here. So let's go ahead and get started. It's a very quick process. It sometimes can be kind of messy, but it'll get the job done, right? Okay, so first we put the pointed end of the carrot bag down inside the glass, like so. Push it down. And fold a little bit over the top there so it looks just like that. Okay? Next, we're going to take the knee-high or hosiery, whatever you happen to have. And I'm going to kind of open it up until we get all the way to the toe here. And we're going to push that down inside the cup, toe first, and then put the part that goes up to the knee just over the cup like that. And we want to make sure it's secure so when we go through the process it doesn't pull or come loose. So I'm just going to make sure that happens here. And in case I haven't mentioned it already, the color of the hosiery really doesn't matter. You can choose any color you want, because if you're just going to be using this for henna, it will not matter, because yes, it will stain. This just happened to be the last pair at the supermarket when I went there, just happened to be black, so I grabbed these. But it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size or the length. It just matters that it will fit inside of an average size looking glass. Okay. And then we have our henna here, so I'm going to go ahead and put the henna down inside the stocking here, and we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so the next step, we're going to go ahead and put our henna paste in, just like so. I like to use a spatula. You can use a spoon, whatever works for you. But we're just going to go ahead and just try, if possible, to get the henna just right in the middle and not on the sides. It'll make it less messy for you. It doesn't really change anything with the process. It just makes it less messy so you don't have henna all over your hands at the end. But if you are a henna artist like myself, you always have henna all over your hands. All right. Now that we have the paste out, we're going to go ahead and take the edges of the stocking here, like so. And then we'll take the carrot bag. Just like that, okay? And we no longer need the drinking cup, so we'll put this off to the side. So what you want to do is you want to hold right here really firmly. So you have some of the carrot bag sticking up out of the top of your hand, and of course the stocking out of the top as well. But you'll want to hold on to that nice and firm. We're holding the carrot bag and we're pulling the stocking out. Just like that. Okay, and what's happening is the henna is straining through the nylon and going into the carrot bag. And anything that's in the henna, any sticks or plant bits or anything like that, any chunks of dry henna powder that didn't, for whatever reason, blend into the rest of the paste is going to be stuck inside the nylon. So that's kind of what's happening here. And there's going to be henna right here, so you may get henna on your hands as you pull the stocking out, and that just happens sometimes. So you'll just want to pull and pull and pull until the stocking is in one hand and all the henna paste is inside the carrot bag. That is our goal here. Okay. And I can feel this coming to the end because it's giving me a little bit of resistance here. But you may feel a little bit of popping as you're pulling it through, and you can just massage it so the paste goes through the stocking. If you have a reinforced toe on your stocking, that paste is not going to go through very easily, so that's why it's good to get the one that doesn't have the dark or the reinforced toe. So I'm just massaging with this hand the rest of the paste through while I'm pulling the stocking with my other hand. And there we go. Here's the stocking there. And here is our strained henna paste. All right. Now, see, we have all of the henna paste in the carrot bag now. So when we're ready to fill our applicator bottles, and we have really fine tips on them, or we're going to use our applicator cones, the henna paste will glide through much easier, and you won't have any bits kind of clogging up the tips on your applicator bottles or the tips on your cones. One funny story I have is I was actually doing henna and my applicator kept clogging, and I had freshly squeezed the lemon juice, and I actually had little bits of the seeds from the lemons in my henna paste, and it was stopping up my my applicator. So that's something that does happen. It's not always plant material. Sometimes it can be from other ingredients that you've used, whether it be loose leaf tea or cloves or something like that. So definitely straining your henna paste is a good way to go. There's another way of doing it before you even mix your paste. You can do something called sifting, and that actually is a different process that's used for something that's dry like powder. I do have a video on how to sift with a nylon stocking, and I'll go ahead and put a link to that video down below. It's an older video. The quality is not as good, but that's okay. You'll still be able to learn from it, and I may re-record that video at a later date. But what you can do is use a stocking to sift henna powder. And then you can also use what's called a flour sifter. I'll go ahead and put some links down below for places where you can buy a flour sifter. You just put the henna powder in there and you just sift it like you would flour, and it removes the plant material from your henna powder in the same way that it removes clumps from your flour. I got my flour sifter from IKEA. I am temporarily living in another state, so I don't have all of my materials here, but I will put a link down below to where I got mine at IKEA. Flour sifters are fairly inexpensive, and they're really, really good piece of equipment for henna artists to have if you need to sift your own henna powder. I hope this video has been helpful to you and beneficial for you, especially for those of you who are experiencing clogs in your applicator bottles or in your henna cones. If you have any questions about this process or you have requests for other videos, please feel free to go ahead and put a comment in the comment section below, or you can always DM me on Instagram. My Instagram happens to be FreeHandMehndi, just like my channel name here. And I thank you so much for watching. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, friends.